Whether the Nuggets win the championship this year or not, Nikola Jokic's dominant playoff performance has earned him the respect of every single NBA fan, including Suns fans who are now terrified of all Eastern Europeans. But the weird thing I've noticed is whenever people talk about Nikola Jokic's greatness, whether on TV or Twitter, it's often accompanied with a caveat. Like, man, Nikola Jokic, he's not even in shape. He's so unathletic. He can't dunk.
And he doesn't look like he's in great shape. And he doesn't have exactly an NBA body.
Right.
And look at him putting up all these numbers. This is just a testament to his incredible basketball skill. Now, yes, Jokic is one of the most skilled players in NBA history, but why are we talking about him as if he's some below average athlete that overcame his physical limitations to become a superstar? Make no mistake, Jokic is an above average athlete in the NBA, perhaps just not in the way that you think. So when I say athleticism in the context of basketball, what I think comes to most people's mind is vertical jump. A big part of what makes basketball and NBA basketball in particular entertaining are the high-flying dunks and the hang time finishes. This is exaggerated by House of Highlights and Overtime and other hoop mixtapes. But vertical leap is hardly the only feature that determines an NBA player's athleticism. There are so many other things that contribute to it. What athleticism means in the NBA, or what it should mean, is the set of physical traits a player has that help him play basketball. And the key here is the physical traits that help him play basketball. Flexibility, for instance, might be really important in gymnastics. In the NBA, it's not that important. I mean, Draymond Green is a Hall of Fame player that can't lift his leg up past his waist unless he's trying to kick someone in the nuts. My point is simply that when we judge a player's athleticism, when we talk about whether or not they should be considered athletic, we should be talking about the myriad of traits that help that player play basketball. Is vertical jump one of those? Is it important? Absolutely. Does Jokic have a below average vertical jump? Absolutely. But Jokic also has a lot of other athletic features that I think are well above average. How about standing reach? I'd argue for centers, standing reach is just as important as vertical jump. Standing reach affects your ability to contest shots without jumping, to catch passes over other players, to tip balls in. Jokic at 6'11" with a 7'3" wingspan has pretty average dimensions for a center, but he does have a 9'3" standing reach. That's a taller standing reach than Jaren Jackson and Anthony Davis. Let's talk about strength, another athletic trait that is important for centers. It helps you box out, set screens, finish at the rim. Jokic is one of the strongest players in the NBA. Hand-eye coordination. Like with strength and vertical jump, you can definitely improve your hand-eye coordination to a degree, but ask any baseball fan or badminton fan or ping pong fan or fencing fan, and they'll tell you, some people are just born with world-class hand-eye coordination and reaction time. Jokic being an all-time great passer is mostly a testament to his high basketball IQ, but I also think there's a little bit of God-given quickness there that people aren't given enough credit to. This is also exemplified by other things Jokic does uniquely well, like how fast he is on his second jump, his timing for rebounds, how well he catches passes in traffic. Let's compare Jokic to a player like DeAndre Ayton, who on paper has one of the best physical profiles in the NBA in terms of his measurables, which is why he got drafted number 1 overall. But if you just spend a few minutes browsing the Suns subreddit, you'll see Phoenix fans constantly complaining about how often he fumbles the ball and how slowly he reacts to what's going on around him. Again, a lot of that is basketball IQ and being able to read the game, but some of it I think is innate physical talent. And lastly, let's talk about endurance. So, during the Nuggets-Lakers series, Kenny Smith on TNT said something that I thought was really, how do I put it? Dumb. Take a listen.
The only thing that's a visible kryptonite for him is he's not physically in shape like Anthony Davis and athletically. So, okay, how do we utilize that?
Okay, so here's the deal. I don't have a particularly hot take on whether or not Anthony Davis is in really good shape or if he isn't. But my question is this: where is the evidence? Show me the evidence. There is none. My guess is the reason why Kenny Smith and many others think Jokic is out of shape is because of Jokic's physical appearance. People look at Jokic on TV and they see the lack of muscle definition in his arms, especially compared to someone like a prime Dwight Howard who just looks like a bodybuilder. And they think, yeah, Jokic is clearly out of shape. I mean, he must not train cardio as hard as the other guys who are obviously leaner. But I think this is just a really shallow understanding of biology, to be honest. Yes, by Nikola Jokic's own admission, when he first came into the league, he was, to use his own words, a little bit chubby. But this is now his 8th year in the NBA, and we're still having this conversation. Like, is Jokic in shape? If we're talking about being out of shape, we're talking about endurance. And having a low body fat percentage does not necessarily make you higher in endurance. They're separate things. I get it. Like, we look at an athlete that has less muscle definition and we start to question, like, is this guy really hitting the weight room as often? But you know who's not questioning that? Bam Adebayo, or any center that has to guard Jokic. Our analysis of players has to be a little bit better than this guy doesn't look like he's in shape because his arms are kind of fat. Like, what? Like, that does not matter at all. And I'm going to say this too while I'm at it. Not only is Nikola Jokic not out of shape, I think Jokic is likely one of the most well-conditioned players in the NBA. And here's my evidence for that. So on the NBA's official website, you can find a variety of tracking tools, one of which is speed and distance, which uses overhead cameras to track the total distance a player runs every game. Nikola Jokic during the regular season ran 2.3 miles per game, which is second on his team behind Murray, and ranks 7th amongst all centers in the NBA in miles per game. Technically 5th, really, because Randall and Towns are more power forwards on their teams. Jokic also played half his games in Denver in the high altitude that really challenges your conditioning, and he put up MVP caliber numbers while running this much. And yes, if you're curious, Jokic also played more games, played more minutes, ran more per game at a higher average speed than Anthony Davis in both the regular season and the playoffs. So yeah, Jokic is not unathletic or out of shape. Duh.